Welcome to the community engagement. It's our special workshop meeting, March 8th, 2023 at 6:00 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And first, we'll do a roll call. Commissioners, Aaron Asmus.
Here.
Summer Darrell. Here. Cynthia Godinez. Here. Jennifer Kosaka. Here. Mark Sava.
Here.
And I'm going to ask that Bill Norman be excused. I didn't hear one way or another.
I make a motion, we excuse Bill from tonight's workshop.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Excellent. So what I'd like to add on is the approval of the agenda. I know that there's a situation with with scheduling tonight, and I'm going to adjourn the meeting no later than 6:45 p.m. And then whatever we're on, then we will just table and continue to the next meeting if that is favorable.
Can I make an amendment to the agenda, please? I would like to move item 3B to next week.
Okay,
Then we can focus on what we wanted to focus on in the first place, now with the mailer.
anybody have any objections? Okay, all in favor?
Who seconded?
Oh, wait a second. I'll second.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sounds good.
Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so tonight's workshop is the one part, or it is to focus on the mailer, and we were talking about that at the last meeting. And then we adjourned and decided to table and continue this in the workshop. So I know the one thing I know with a mailer, and I call it the wow factor. And that is like when you think of style, format, design in a mailer, and background. So I would also like to caveat this with that this is for future reference. It's to give some possible criteria for the city. And when we know that we're ready, the city is ready to mail that out with budget, then this will be available for them. Is that acceptable? David and Mark?
Can I just reiterate something here? After we're done, I think we should look at sending a mailer out soon, because we got Zen City. We need to let the people know about it. I think that should be our first mailer. Just a suggestion.
Okay. Let's
But
put
let's
that in on-
let's get the mailer together and then we can.
Yeah, okay, well, why don't we have that for further discussion? So let's look at the criteria for the mailer. I call it the wow factor. What do you look at? You know, like we all get mailers, either in newsletters, postcards, but what is appealing? Because that's what's going to attract the readers in the city. So with that, what ideas do you have? Now for me, I thought, what's the wow factor for me and what do I like to see? So I'm sorry, puppy dogs and kids, really, I like that. And I'm sorry, I know it. And I also like colors in different pastels with something there with an extraordinary design. For some reason, that grabs my attention. And the style that I don't like it in like an aerial format for lettering. I like it in a more scripted format. So though I just was thinking about what attracts you so I can give the group an example and get your thoughts.
I think it might be good to kind of start with the intent, right? The intent is
Yes,
going to be pulled onto the website. So come check out our website. I don't think people are going to know that they're going to a Zen City website that's been like it's powered by Zen City. It won't say like Zen City, like come to Zen City. They don't, we're going to ask them to come to our website And at the bottom, it's only gonna say powered by Zen City. So that might help us understand, we're really just trying to get people to come check out our new and improved, user-friendly, interactive, really awesome website.
Right.
And so coming back to the wow factor, I think something that represents the city. So, you know, Liberty Lake and our farmers market, those kind of colors, things along those lines that you think of when you think of the city. Maybe if it's something about the bridge or something kind of funny, like there was an article or a cartoon in the paper about the bridge and like the settlers meeting there and wondering like when the north and the south, did you guys see that? We're gonna connect, and it was like, no, it was a joke, it was a funny joke, so something like that can be attention getting too. Come check out our website.
I was thinking something more of a serious note. Which I think anything I get in the mail that has to do with Liberty Lake, the logo, Liberty Lake logo, catches my attention.
Yeah, authority.
Yep, I think we should use our Liberty Lake logo, and I think that should be, you know, one of the main focus, because that's what we are. And I think, you know, people, when they get something from the city, you know, that's something they don't get every day.
Mhm.
You get something from the sewer company once a month, and something from a Vista once a month, and then whatever carrier you got for a phone and whatever. But you seldom get something from the city, so that's just a thought.
And I like content, I like answers, I like things that are useful to me. So if I were to get upcoming dates, and I know I'm sort of blending this with with our part B that's being tabled, but for me, if I were to get something from Liberty Lake, I would like something that is useful to me in Liberty Lake that answers my questions. Whatever that is, something that I would maybe keep, something I wouldn't throw away. So if it had dates on it, or if it had information or phone numbers to important things or whatever it is, it would prompt me to keep it. Maybe that's art, maybe the picture itself is interesting enough for me to keep, but for me, I would like it to be memorable and something I don't want to throw away.
Okay. Right, and that is a part of the wow factor in a way, is so that we wanted something that we can keep and memorialize for a while. I think, is that correct?
Yeah, again, I mean, I think when I get something that I actually want to keep, it's something like a calendar, a schedule of events, important contact information, that sort of thing. That's what I would keep. And again, I do also keep a postcard of something that's a picture of something. So if it was a Liberty Lake picture, a historical picture with a modern joke or twist or something like that, but had useful content, I would likely keep that.
Okay, Mark has.
Liberty Lake together. That can be put on. Either that, because that's who we are. Either that or the city logo.
Yeah, I think I do like the city logo better. It has more color. I think it's pretty good.
Oh, that's the one that is in the back. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Or a flag.
Can I ask you just a couple of questions?
Yeah.
So, go for
Yeah.
it. For Zen City, so Mark, are you leading, or is David getting the Merry Christmas present of leading the application process with that?
So David's leading, but we're probably putting, I don't know, a handful of folks together that will have some kind of touch on Zen City, but David's going to be leading that charge, yes.
Okay, and then second thing with that is, I feel like as we try to figure out the goal and purpose and, the intent of this, by the time the mailer goes live, how likely or is it possible to have preloaded in the system several key projects that kind of fit the criteria of what Zen City is, even though they're already in the works? So the Kramer overpass, is a project that's in the works. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves as far as Parks and Arts Commission and the basketball thing, but things like that, is there a way to have, I feel like if we're going to drive people to a website, they need to do something.
Like a hook.
Yeah, there's either got to be something for them to participate in. So there's got to be preloaded projects that, whether we're seeking feedback or not initially, it'd be great to be able to have someone that we're seeking feedback, but at least they're starting to see the process and what it looks like, and they can start exploring. But we need some sort of mechanism for them to engage versus, because if we just send them to a site, they're gonna be like, well, that was a waste of my time. We need something that for them that's tangible. And again, going back to summer's point, something that's evergreen, they're gonna keep. I think are, definitely key pieces, but the project piece, I think, is gonna be instrumental because then then there's a true intent of whatever that mailer is, not just saying, hey, we're doing stuff, trying to gather feedback, that's great. But we're actually trying to do something very specific and intentional with that message.
Yeah, I would say, right out of the gate, the intention that we have for that first engagement with Zen City is the city's strategic plan. And that is broad, right? So
Yeah.
it's not, come and give us a couple, there's a poll here and a graph there and give us a few items of feedback. It's got all kinds of things that we're going to be requesting feedback from residents on. And so that would be our initial push is getting input on the strategic plan.
And that's
That's awesome.
Yes.
So maybe we need to make sure that our timing for our mailer works out for the time when things are running on the website.
I think so, because I think if we, jump too fast and just push out something without something meaningful attached to it,
We definitely have. to
it's
have a purpose.
it'll fall flat. Like, I mean, it's, because again, if we want people to participate in the city's strategic planning process in some way, shape or form, then we can structure the mailer accordingly. And I think there's some good language that you can develop off of that, because it is a big deal. So the first time it's happened in the last 5 years, you can help shape the community. We want and are seeking feedback. And it's probably from a tool standpoint is gonna go into a lot of the different facets of what Zen City is capable of.
Absolutely.
Right. And, and be able to give the city council too, some fodder for the money that they're spending on this, saying, hey, this was a worthwhile investment. And we can see the results trickling in now and what it's going to look like and how it's going to help the city move forward.
Right. Well, and to that point, we had this past Saturday was the city council work session to help establish the foundation for the strategic plan. And during that, and then in my briefing last night to council at the regular council meeting, we reemphasized the fact that our plan is now to take all of these artifacts that they created Saturday, put them in front of the public and get the public's input using Zen City. So that's been part of the plan since we started the effort of the strategic plan update. So.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, and I shouldn't have just jumped off and laughed. Yes, it established purpose and need as we're going through this. Yes. because that all has to be then coordinated, that's a part of that.
I guess the message, I mean, we could broadly establish the message before we have the specifics, but it's something, I would say something along the lines of, did you know we're continually seeking community feedback at this place? Did you know to me is kind of what this is. Again, that's just my thoughts, because if I'm getting something and it's new, I likely don't know about it. And I would like a little more information. But we
And
can
that's
easily
where
flip
style
stuff in.
and format is, asking the correct, having that correct verbiage, so it just grabs you.
But again, with like authority and it's from the city, not advertise. I mean, it should be very clear that it's not advertising. I mean, that's what most of the mailers are gonna be, and this isn't that.
This is more informative.
Maybe like, did you know you can come to this website and participate? Like you have a voice, and it's more than just calling or writing a letter. It's a voice that you can
Yes.
use.
I really like
Yeah,
that
that
phrase.
the
You
voice-
have a voice.
Yeah,
If
like
you
voice,
you have a voice.
feeling unheard or not feeling it, or no, not feeling heard, or you know what it's trying to say it better than that.
Yeah.
Represented.
Yeah, represented, want to share your voice,
Be heard.
Be heard, I mean, yeah.
Oh,
something-
yeah,
something
it's
like-
2 words.
Like 2
Be
word,
heard.
word. I like,
That-
the did
that's
you
what they-
know?
Yeah, did you know, be heard, yeah, because that's what they want, that's the purpose of this, is let them be heard. You
And
know,
it's-
like,
I
Yeah,
mean, from my stance, is community feedback, because that's the other thing too, is like, we can't promise that we're gonna actually use whatever, you know, I mean, I think it should be clear what it is. So to me, the like, your voice and all that, that to me is a little political almost.
Yeah, that could be.
Which again, it's like, that's what I'm getting already. That's what the mailers already say. Like, are you being heard in, you know, in Western Washington, you know, like, it's that kind of thing. So to me, it's like, what do we actually, we need a Bill Norman here is all I'm saying.
Jennifer, yeah. Please let us know your feedback on this. Be heard. Be heard. You know what? I like that. Yeah, where's my, no, I like that. Be heard.
No, I really like the, you have a voice in this community and I think those are all great ideas. Like this community, in our community, in a community,
Okay,
in our.
your voice.
Our.
In our community.
personal.
Yeah.
Really?
Brainstorming, like it.
Yeah, we are. Okay, so a good catchy phrase. That can be, you know, we can find one out from the brainstorming that we did. I love it. Okay, now we have different formats or in different sizes, you know, you have postcards, sometimes you have newsletters. What are our feelings on concerning that as far as?
They're all terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as the response rate, they're all terrible. I mean, this is the hard part of mailing. I think, and just to be like, I think we need to take them for what they are. Mailers are gonna be a great way to reach every single household in Liberty.
Yes.
There's no question about it. It will arrive in every single household. And we can do that effectively. How many people are like, so many of us, and I raise my hand at this,
Mhm.
that get those mailers, and then the first thing they do, they go right to the recycling bin. So I think the 2 things that, to me, from a mailer standpoint, stand out, it's size and shape. So it's gotta be something that is gonna be not a standard postcard. I think the thing that's gonna draw people in is back to what Mark brought up, which is the logo. You know, when something comes with Liberty Lake logo, it is official. It is feeling more important, so more likely to read it and look at it at least. So it's not just gonna go directly in the dump. But so I wouldn't get too hung up on, to me, I wouldn't get too hung up on the individual like piece. I would look to David to identify good options for, you know, both from a cost standpoint, as far as what we can produce effectively for the city and what's gonna get our biggest ROI. I think that the additional pieces that are to be developed with this are almost more important than just the individual mailer that's going to go out. So posters being able to go up in the local stores and grocery stores and places of business, city hall, you know, using the same postcard as kind of an infographic to post on social media and to share around, so that we're trying to utilize as many streams of communication to get that out. You know, getting the same, again, using the same image, so the same postcards, they're seeing the same thing over and over again in Splash or The Current. So that, again, they're seeing, if there's consistency in what they're seeing, they always say you got to see or hear something 7 times before you're going to respond to it. So how can we hit and touch everybody 7 times so that we know we're going to get the best response rate possible?
Yeah, and that's up to 2, yeah, I didn't hear 7 times, but you have to touch someone or something numerous times.
Yeah.
For that response that's needed.
I did have an idea, I know we talked just briefly about the coin idea, which it was a cardstock coin idea. It started with, for those who don't know, this idea that if I could have a card to give to somebody to, hey, go check out the website, that'd be amazing. And then I thought, well, that's kind of boring. Who wants a business card to hand out? What if it was like a coin card instead? So a coin stock or like the word paper stock, card stock, yeah, card stock. And so, if there was a mailer that was going out and on the mailer, there's this image of a coin that has the Liberty Lake logo, because it's kind of already in a circle. And like incorporated into that, maybe there's the QR code, because then you can start saying, keep looking for these. You know, we might be able to have these printed out at the farmer's market, at the kiosk. And on the coin that you can give to somebody, instead of saying, hey, go check out our website, where it's at, libertylake.com or the city of libertylake.com, you can hand them this business card in the shape of a coin, which is funner than a business card. Who does that for a city? But this is a way to engage and get people to take something from you. And then maybe there's that curiosity about, let me scan this QR code and have it taken to the website. It's something kind of fun. So I had AI design, come up with like a postcard that incorporated a coin in it, and it looked like you could maybe punch it out. Just a thought, that's something that would be really strange. I got a mailer and it was like, oh, it's kind of a nice thick piece of paper with beautiful coloring on it, and there's this like little coin in the corner or something that you could punch out, and it says, hey, go check our website. Go check out from some new, get your voice heard, or whatever it is that we're saying at that time. There's some events that are occurring. Do you know about them? Would you like to find out more information? Come to our website, and then you can use the coin that you can thumb out and scan it. And now you can collect that. Or I don't know. That was just one potential idea that's different than the thing you're gonna put in the website.
Yeah, we don't want to, and that's what is the creativity that we have is a group that's going to give that emphasis so that people will want to look at it and go, this is interesting.
I think it kind of goes back to when we were doing our mission statement and taking all of that information and slicing it down into something that it was like, you can have these bullet points so it can draw people in for what they are interested in. Because it's just rote information, you'll get lost in that. So I think that's one of the things too, is that we need to figure out what sort of things we want to have in there, and then be able to arrange it in a way that it's easy on the eyes to just glance at it and see as a whole, if this is something that you are going to want to keep, or if you're just going to get lost in all the information and it's too much and it gets tossed. Because there's just too much there. So I think you have to convey all of that in a concise, precise way. So I think that's that format that we need to sort that out.
So, and that I think goes to the format of, well, in some ways, like you said, less is more. And I think we have to figure out, how to make it more concise and precise to give them that. And then figuring out the key words that would just basically snap out of them so that they, oh yeah, I need to look into this. Okay.
Do we have any thoughts on what it should be? If it should be a postcard size or a letter?
Well, mailers that's about the only two sizes I know, is postcard or letter. And your letter, sometimes you have some options of being a little bit more creative, because you could put banners and just different other types of design, but sometimes flyers, you can get lost in that, but sometimes postcards is more concise, but you don't get as many design opportunities.
We don't need that many though. If we're gonna use the city logo, what more do we need?
And then if we're getting these up too, then they'll have the larger version of
Okay,
everything.
probably a postcard, so it would be adequate.
Yeah, I think it goes back to summer. Can we create something on one side that is the call to action, driving them to the platform to engage, And on the other side, referencing something that is, and maybe it is this in some way, shape or form. I think that's probably where your head was going.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But in a more,
I mean, it could be.
I mean, this would be cool to send everybody.
I mean,
But-
for the month that we're in,
Right, yeah, so let's just say it's, I mean, realistically, it's probably in
May.
April, May.
Which there are plenty of events
Yeah.
in that chunk.
Which.
By the time you're ready to start gathering feedback.
So we're looking to make this as quick a turnaround as possible. I'd like to start in early April. But
So that's
that's
May and
gonna
June.
depend on
May, June.
our ability to get trained up and create the engagements in Zen City.
Okay.
Which we haven't had yet.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think that the idea there is taking it like a condensed version of the flyer and putting that on the back, because that would be something immediate that you could keep, that would be your own personal, like not large sized flyer.
And families will say to each other, hey, did you see? Yes, it's on the postcard. You
Yeah.
know, what day is that? It's on the postcard. Did you get the postcard? Yeah, I got the postcard.
Mhm.
And then maybe people start looking for these postcards and care about them.
That helps with the continuity too, that we were talking about between all of the different avenues that we're looking at, is that if we have something similar, an idea of this, even similar in design, is
Yeah.
that there is that continuity there. Just in.
I mean, it's literally branding it. I mean, this is what we're literally talking about.
We are,
branding it and
this is a
bringing
part of
communication,
branding.
you know,
Mhm.
to keep it consistent and, yeah.
It's almost like we're building the brand, and in many ways, we're building the template. We're building the foundation.
And if we aren't on the timeline to do the specific events, although it kind of sounds like May and June might end up being perfect for that, but if not, I could see 6 boxes with your one photo representing the barefoot in the park. It doesn't have to have a caption. It could just be the different little events or something like that. Again, something that represents the idea of the multiple, again, I'm kind of going with events just because if I'm gonna keep a postcard, if it's from school, if it's from the community, if it's from anything, it's about what's upcoming, so I don't forget and I stick it on the fridge.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is in the trash, or maybe it is artsy and down in my office with a pin, but that's about it.
No, I agree. And are there?
And a QR code.
Lots of- everywhere.
Okay, the QR code, let's get the QR code.
Are there like 4, going back to Summer's point, I mean, it's kind of looking at like cornerstone events of Liberty Lake, barefoot in the park for sure.
I would say farmer's market. You just said one, barefoot in the park.
Barefoot farmers,
Symphony.
The symphony,
symphony,
yep,
yeah,
the concert for the fireworks,
Yard sale.
yard sale, and
Yard
movies,
sale.
movies in the park.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
movies in the park are very popular.
yeah. So if there's a way to condense it to where the mailer or the postcard maybe focuses on those handful. 4,
And
5,
for more, scan this QR code.
and for more scan here, but before you can see that, you need to fill out our survey on Sin City.
There has to be a ended, and I love that. It has to be,
It's a pop.
yeah.
On the postcard.
We offer a free ticket to Barefoot in the Park if you fill out the.
There we go.
There you go, yeah.
Isn't that free? Isn't that?
Yeah,
free?
that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, okay, so I really like that idea, and hit the big cornerstone, our big cornerstone events.
Yeah.
And then say, for more information on other events, please go to this website, and then give the QR code,
Yeah.
give them the QR code.
Yeah,
And I like using, you have updates on this, but anything that's like up to date, information on events.
yeah,
Honestly, I would say, we should have the full calendar on on the, when they go on to the
Oh, yeah,
site.
yeah,
The full
Yeah.
calendar, I mean, all that's the whole year.
sure, yeah.
Right,
No, I
right.
think that's, yeah, I think that's for sure.
And the calendar,
Where to get dates.
yeah, we need the full calendar on there so they can connect, have that connectivity. And then, so that they know what's coming up.
Mhm.
And then probably need to keep that all the time updated because events change or other events come online.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if, and this is maybe part of the city Facebook page, but when we're referencing some of these events, like even the city academy, if there's a way to use this graphic or a similar portion of it with it sort of highlight, training people to,
Which graphic?
right? So if we're using some version of this, right, alongside the post, and this is highlight in yellow, and we're talking, the post is about this, training people to start to look at this or whatever ends up being
In that
this,
content.
so that we're training people to look at our different elements of our campaign. To
Speaking to Aaron's point,
about our 7 touches in our campaign or whatever. But I think ways to sort of triangulate all of our stuff is important, and whatever branding you're doing across all this campaign.
Just don't do a rebranding campaign right now.
The special meeting on branding.
yeah, oh, yeah, for
Sure.
sure. I mean, we have to, and I think of that though is really important what you said, Sam, because, and we have to have some elements of redundancy, so it provides the public and residents different means and methods to acquire this information. And that's really, when we talked about, you said, what's the intent on this? A part of that is our intent, that this provides one element that they can, the mailer, of receiving this information, but we also have other ways, and that's where it opens up for different means and methods.
Yeah, I just really want to see whatever this mailer is associated with whatever we're already putting out there that we have the most engagement on already. And whether that's, a physical picture of the thing or just mentioning it, I just think, as much as we can do since this is new. And again, I think we need some authority with it. So it's not just an advertisement that shows up.
And I think that consistency of it is gonna be paramount. Whatever that image is, whatever the phrase is, whatever language is being used, keeping that consistent, and, we as commission members speak that same language and terminology. And same with the city council, and getting the city council on board with understanding that terminology. This is the language we're using, this is why.
Well,
Right.
and those are the correct, and that we have the correct, you're right, the correct language, the correct talking points.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay,
So we need content and a time frame.
So, I mean, I think the timeframe, I think, would work really well if we even were to say launching or having this distributed, target middle to end of April, trying to coordinate somewhat, allowing you guys enough time to get stuff in there and then also test it, obviously, to make sure it works, which is always the fun part. And then rolling it out, and then that'll give us plenty of time to be able to get decide on the cornerstone events. So that's probably the next biggest thing, is figuring out if we're gonna go with this route, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The cornerstone events on one side, feeding into the language that we'll want on the backside.
On the
for our
back.
engaging.
yeah,
That's probably the first piece to figure out, is which ones do we really want to highlight. And I feel like Mark did a good job nailing those out, but do we want 4, do we want 6, 3?
Whatever.
I mean, I think it also depends on how big of a mailer we want to end up doing and what that cost structure is gonna look like.
Yeah.
And trying to keep that as nominal as possible, but then still, why is it, there's a cat up there that can usually.
Have you not been following
Social media.
I heard about the cat in here, I didn't know there was a cat up there.
That's where the cat.
I've been gone for 2 weeks, so I'm sorry.
You have missed the most exciting 2 weeks of our entire community.
I saw Mark
That's a
on the
lot. You missed me on TV.
Oh, I did.
I was on national television 2 days in a row.
Oh, my goodness, I'm gonna find the YouTube clip.
that's great. Where have you been, Aaron?
What's your timestamp right now? I'd like to go back and look at him surprised.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Anyway, yeah, so let's look at the size and what we can build out on for the mailer. I mean, where I go, like my initial thought is, you know, like a 6x10, something like that, something longer. That gives you the ability to highlight the events without being compact. And then enough room on the back to still be simple in the messaging as it relates to whatever it is that we're communicating on our side. So almost like a third sheet. Kind
So
of,
what, so Aaron.
Yeah.
So you're not talking, you're talking about a size smaller than that.
but talking like this,
Yeah,
something like that size-ish,
yes,
you know, that gives you enough space to, you know, do the branding we would want to make prominent, the language to make consistent, highlight the handful of events we want to throw in there without, like, if we wanted to put 6 things, we could,
I feel like standard is a
little bit
taller than that, the
Yeah.
same width and a little taller.
It's probably, yeah, it's probably,
Yeah, that looks like what that is. That looks like what that size is.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
he's the grid guy, he's gonna
Yeah.
have the
Okay, I've got,
specification.
if we're gonna do 6. because I think-
well, let's try it for 6.
The 6, okay, these are the 6, you wanna write these down here, Cynthia. Farmers Market,
Yes, I definitely farmers market.
4th of July, concert. Barefoot in the Park,
Yard sale.
movies in the park. Yard sale. Which is only gonna be one day this year, again, thank God. And symphony.
so I'll throw one more on there. Trailhead grand opening.
Yes, yeah. that is going
I
to
don't
be-
think we need a specific day to be mentioned.
Summer.
Summer, yeah, but I think, I
Yes,
think that's another one. Everybody I talked to is really excited about it.
they are, and everybody yes, and I forgot about that, the trail.
I was gonna bring up Winter Glow too.
Winter glow.
Yeah,
Yes,
let me throw in one thing, just think in terms, what does a yard sale photo look like
Yeah. We're gonna need-
A graphic that says yard sale.
versus a winter glow photo? Trailhead golf.
Yeah,
Where's the appeal factor? That's what I'm saying.
People are obsessed with the yard sale and what day it's gonna be and what weekend it is. I mean, they're obsessed with when it's gonna happen. one day or 2 days.
Manny, you haven't been here.
There are cops running.
Oh my
ATVs.
There is, it's seeing it back down to one day, it was 2, now it's back down to Saturday. There'll be traffic backed up
yeah.
on I-9.
And even if it's just a canvas style graphic,
Peace out.
that says yard sale and paint. so you can-
I would get together with the Kiwanis, find out, they've got a logo.
Yeah, they do have a logo, actually. That's right.
okay.
Yeah, having it only one day will be a lifesaver.
Oh,
Well,
God.
especially not being on the last day of school.
Should be Father's Day weekend.
It's always Father's Day
Yeah,
weekend.
Father's Day weekend. Kiwanis yard sale, June 17th, Lady Mother's birthday.
Okay, I'm gonna recapture some of the things that we talked about. And want to look at the phrase, like, you have a voice, be heard. And then give your feedback for this, you know, something that goes on with the mailer. 2 sides of I guess it's not really a postcard, it's not exactly a letter, but it's 6 by, what did you say here?
Whatever size Dave
6
said.
by 10 or whatever, they should have their. So,
I'm trying to say. It's like a-
yeah,
I know
yeah,
exactly
the-
what you're
the side, and then we have the 6 events.
50 per hour.
Whatever, like a house.
We have the 6 events, farmers market, 4th of July, Winter Globe, Barefoot, the movies, yard sale, symphony, and the grand opening of the trailhead. Just to recapture, we made a lot of, yeah, this is great progress.
I think that the thing to keep in mind, especially with David doing the art, when he does the artwork is, if it doesn't make sense to have all those events, then
Yeah, we
we
can,
just pull them off.
Pull 'em
I mean,
off,
I think
yeah.
it's, it's not as important to have those as it is to make sure that they keep it. Right? So what are the ones, to me, it's like the question is going back to Summer's point, which is what are the ones that we could put on there that would cause somebody to keep that more than 30 days?
Yeah, and that's what we have to think about on this is, okay, my terminology is the wow factor all the time.
you're stuck on that, aren't you?
I am. I just, yeah, I know. It's been there.
On your. parks,
45.
let me ask a couple of questions. What is your next, when is your next regularly scheduled meeting?
Next Wednesday.
I'll wait from tonight
Okay,
on the 15th.
and so I assume you're planning to bring this discussion back?
Absolutely.
I would like to continue it because we're not,
Yes.
Okay, so I don't want to be the wet blanket, but
okay,
when you bring that back, you're gonna need to discuss how you're going to pay for this and who's paying. Because there
Okay.
is presently no budget.
Stand correct, Mark. I talked to the mayor, you might want to talk to the mayor. She said we do have money, she earmarked money for us this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So you might want to just check.
okay, so since I don't know, maybe, we will discuss budget and possibly then to see what we do have. or-
Yeah,
If
I
you
think,
get proceeds from your yard sale.
Okay, I will.
15% goes to Kiwanis, though.
Nice, yeah.
Okay, that's a good point.
right,
Yeah.
so if there is an identified funding source, it would be helpful to know what it is.
What the amount is, yes.
Yeah, and how much is cost? We need practical,
Yeah.
processing.
Okay,
Are we giving ourselves homework? Like-
No, we have people who do that.
I don't think there's any homework tonight. I think that we just need to, there's nothing to table. We just need to continue this discussion for the 15th for next week's meeting and put it on the agenda if everybody agrees with that.
Absolutely.
Okay? And it is it's a little past 7:45. I almost made it.
6:45. You're good.
6:45, I'm sorry. 6:45, I stand corrected. And, anybody object to the meeting being adjourned? Everybody in favor of adjournment?
Good.
Okay. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.